Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Bet on Us. I'm BK. He's Sab. We're now entering week 2 of the NFL season. And Sab, I know when we did the recap last week, you were really high on the Bills. You kind of sold me on that game against the Dolphins this week. I hopped on board. We went all in on what was an underdog, the Buffalo Bills, that just slaughtered the Dolphins. What'd you think of Thursday night?
Well, the fact that they were underdogs was just what really, raised my eyebrow. I couldn't believe that they were getting 2 points against a team that they absolutely dominate. 11 of the last 12. Now it's 12 of the last 13. And Josh Allen being the best player in football that I will double down on each and every week, even when he has a bad week. And that was just one that I think, I convinced you. You said, I think we convinced a lot of our listeners too. I had a lot of feedback. 5 or 6 guys showed me their tickets. One guy put 100 on it. Another guy put 150 on it. I didn't put 150 on it. I did put 100 on it. But a win is a win, and it was a good start. Good start to our week 2 for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
It was a good game.
I couldn't believe, and I didn't even know how they post all this stuff, but I know Caesar Sportsbook posted bragging about a guy that bet $110,000 at the book in Vegas on the Dolphins to cover a 2.5 point spread. Yeah. As soon as I saw that, I was like, no, what? This guy clearly doesn't listen to what we have to say. That's crazy.
He wasn't watching. No, he was not watching.
No, he wasn't.
No.
So, yeah, that was wild. But, poor guy, maybe he'll tune in and become a listener in the future.
I saw you put the link in there after that. Man, should have been listening to this. I like that.
Yeah, that was a bold move, man, especially with the history between those two teams and, what the Bills have to offer, like you were mentioning, some of the injuries and the issues with the Dolphins.
Yeah, and I think we got a real quick touch on Tua. I mean, after that concussion, I think we're at the 4th one in 5 years or 3rd in 4 years. Either way, it's hard to see that happen. I know my wife and I were watching the game, and we both just put our head in our hands after we saw it. It's like, this guy's going through this again. I mean, and nobody wants to say it, but the irony of him going right into DeMar Hamlin's chest too, that was just some crazy stuff. And he pulled up on that hit too, so that's not a big hit that he took. And I just think there's got to be an uncomfortable conversation going on in his family and even with his coaches and the doctors. I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't. I think it's I know the Dolphins are probably going to want him to play. Obviously, they invested a lot of money in him, and as we know, it's it is football, and if he can play and he's got 2 eyes and 2 ears and he can play, it's something that I think they really need to seriously talk about.
Yeah, and no, there was nothing with Hamlin there. I mean, Tua put his head down, went right into him. I thought it was going to be more of a neck injury.
Yeah.
The way that the kind of the crown of his head hit almost like Hamlin's hip, like rib area. It wasn't any helmet to helmet or anything.
No.
But yeah, I mean, what a shame. And, I was just looking at it this week. He's 26 years old, physically fully capable. So I think I just look at those as like the hardest ones where you could sit on the sidelines and be like, man, I can make every cut, every throw.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go. But because of, the head issue, and all that you hear about with CTE and everything, it's just such a concern. I think he comes back.
Yeah.
I don't think that's necessarily the smart move, and it's scary.
Yeah.
But just because he has so much to offer and he's so young, it's going to be hard for him to sell himself, and it's going to be hard for doctors to sell him on 30, 40 years down the road. Really think about that. I don't know.
Especially with $200+ million on the table. I mean, we'd be silly to say that we wouldn't think about that twice too, even if it is something that is so serious in basically like the CTE, which he's probably already unfortunately going to have after having so many concussions. But
you look at his, I mean, they come on quick and it doesn't look like they're vicious hits.
No.
And then his symptoms, the way he kind of reacts right afterwards, even that walk back to the locker room,
scary,
it doesn't look good.
Yeah.
It sucks.
No.
But it sucks for Dolphins fans out there. Hopefully, Tua can rebound. But
we have a lot of Dolphins fans that listen to us too, so they were not happy with our bet, and then it was injury to insult with what happened to Tua. So we'll see what happens. I think he misses at least one game. I think he should miss one game.
Sure.
But I think he's back by week 4. I agree he's back by week 4, even though it's probably not the right decision. But I think
yeah, it might be something to kind of revisit after this season.
Yep.
But anyways, moving on. That was a great pick there. I'll give you the credit on that one. And, I backed you up, and
Yeah.
that worked out well for everybody. But anyways, we're entering, week 2 here, NFL season. On our first inaugural week, I dominated 10-4. You were 8-6. How are you going to catch up to my awesomeness, Seth?
Well, so now we don't know each other's picks, obviously, until we get on here. So we'll just roll through it. I gotta just do a little better. Week 1 is always week 1's a feel out week for players and for podcasters such as ourselves and pickers. So we'll just roll right into it, I guess. Starting with the 1 o'clock slate. The Browns and Jags. The Browns getting absolutely just throttled by your Cowboys last week, looking totally lost, looking totally terrible. The Jags actually played 3.5 good quarters against the Dolphins and then blew it in week 1. So I like the Jags in that game. I think that's an easy pick, which means it's probably not going to be. As we know, the NFL is crazy, but give me the Jags in that one. Okay. Then you got the Packers going against the Colts. The Packers losing Jordan Love. It looks like they made him questionable, which I thought was interesting. He was doubtful. Now he's questionable. I still don't think he plays. I think that's just more of mind games going into it. But give me the Colts. I don't think Malik Willis is an NFL quarterback, much less somebody that should be starting. So I think the Colts win that game. Anthony Richardson looked great last week. Give me the Chargers over the Panthers. The Panthers are the worst team in football. They're going to be the worst team in football all year. The Ravens over the Raiders is if you were in Survivor still, that's an easy Survivor pick, unlike myself. The Ravens over the Raiders. Give me your Cowboys big over the Saints. I'm going to talk about that one a little later.
Okay,
I like the Cowboys. I like the Commanders over the Giants. Yeah, there it is. I like the Commanders over the Giants. The Giants are terrible as well. Daniel Jones, absolutely stealing money from the Giants. Titans and Jets. Give me the Jets. I think Aaron Rodgers gets his first win as a Jets starting quarterback, although he technically got the win last year when he played four games or whatever it was, but his first real win as a Jets quarterback. The Seahawks over the Patriots. I know the Patriots won last week. That was all cute and stuff, but Seattle's D is the real deal, especially with their new coach coming over from Baltimore's defensive coordinator. I like them a lot. Niners are without CMC against the Vikings. Don't think it matters though. Give me the Niners. Jordan Mason ran for 147 yards last week. He's going to continue that. Give me the Lions over the Bucs. I think that's a win for the Lions. I think the Lions, going against my preseason assessment, having the Packers be better, the Lions look really good. I think the Lions are going to beat the Bucs. Give me the Rams against the Cardinals on the road. Like the Rams, I picked them to go to the Super Bowl. I can't have them start 0-2. So give me the Rams. Chiefs over the Bengals. That's an easy one from last week. I'll take the Chiefs. Little upset. It's week 2. I got to keep the homer picks alive. Give me the Broncos over the Steelers. I think they win a game like 10-6 or something like that. That game's going to be ugly.
Real barn burner.
Yeah, it's going to be real ugly. Fans are not going to get their money's worth for that game, by the way. I think the Bears, it's not one of my picks, but I think the Bears cover, but I think they lose at Houston on Sunday night. I think Caleb Williams plays better. I think the jitters are out, hopefully, for all these rookie quarterbacks. And then give me the Eagles on Monday night against the Falcons.
Okay. All right, cool. So there you have it, guys. Those are Sab's picks of the week. I know that we were, in simpatico on Thursday night with the Bills, but I can tell you right now, guys, we are definitely going to be diverging here for Sunday and Monday.
Love it.
So you can pick your horse. You want to ride with me?
Yeah.
Hop on board. You want to go with Sab? That's fine.
Maybe we'll
give you my picks. I'll give you my picks real quick. Tell you what I'm thinking.
Okay.
All right. Cowboys over Saints. No brainer. I got the Cowboys. Ravens, I think they look great. I like what Lamar's doing. I think he's really coming out strong this year. He's going to continue that. I'll take the Ravens over the Raiders. Jags, I'll take over the Browns. I think that's an easy one. I think the Jags are right there. They're like ready to pop.
Yep.
So I'll take Jags over Browns. I like the Jets over the Titans. I'm pulling for Aaron Rodgers here, and I think this is a game that they can come out and really assert themselves. 49ers over the Vikings, no doubt about that. Chargers over the Panthers, that's an easy one. I'm going to take the Patriots over the Seahawks. A little different than you there. Pats over Seahawks. Also, again, being a Cowboys fan, I love making fun of the Giants. I think the Giants are going to beat the Commanders. Going into this, I think the spread is like a point or a point and a half.
Two, I
Favoring,
think right now is what I have.
favoring the Commanders. But I think the Giants, maybe they give us a little surprise and they just win in a just sloppy, ugly game.
They got to win. They got to win a few games, right? I guess.
Maybe they could post, an offer, but
yeah.
I think they can squeak one out against the Commanders.
Right.
I like the Lions over the Bucs. I'm in agreement. I'll take the Colts over the Packers. Rams over the Cardinals. I know you were big on the Rams last week. But I think that this week they can do a little something against the Cardinals. I'm gonna go, with you, Sab, and I'll take the Broncos over the Steelers.
All right.
That was a nervous pick. I just feel like the Steelers with TJ Watt, I feel like he can disrupt the game on a dime any
really
week.
Can.
And so that was a nervous pick, but I'll go with the Broncos. Hopefully we can get some, positive, juju out there for them. We'll get the Chiefs over the Bengals. I'd like to see Joe Burrow come back and really get in his groove, but I don't think it happens quite yet, especially against the Chiefs that looked great opening night. I'll take the Texans over the Bears. I'll take the Eagles over the Falcons on Monday night.
All right.
So we differed on a couple picks there, but maybe not as much as I thought.
Yeah, I think we differ on 3. I think you got the Giants, the Patriots, and actually I think it's only 2, right?
Is that all it was?
Giants and Patriots. Yeah, okay. That's it. But that's all right.
All right, let me back up some of that talk, guys. I guess we're more alike than I thought.
Yeah, a little bit.
So it looks like I'll probably only beat Sabby by 2 games.
Yeah,
you're
only going to beat me by 2 picks now. Yeah. Well, the good news for you is I can only catch you and only tie you going into this week. So if
I'm playing it safe, everybody.
You're already playing defense in week 2. That's interesting. Interesting take.
That's right.
Interesting
it's
approach.
It's the game within the game, guys.
Exactly.
End games here. Yeah. All right, cool. So that's our slate of week 2 NFL games, everybody. But we always like to throw in some different bets. Doesn't all have to be football. Doesn't all have to be NFL. But Sab, what else you got this week? Any props or anything exciting that caught your eye?
Well, spoilers, it's all NFL with me, and it's going to be mostly all NFL with me. I don't act like I know baseball like Brian does. I don't act like I know college football like Brian does. College football isn't my expertise. Are
you saying that I know these or that I act like I know these?
I think you know. Well, I think you just know them better than me from a betting standpoint. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah. Over our 37 years of friendship, giving us each other credit isn't exactly our go-to. So we're not going to start now. So we'll just say that. But I'm going to start actually with 2 props, 2 running back props. We're going to go to the Titans and the Jets first. Tony Pollard had a nice game last week. He had 16 carries for about 82 yards. Going into the season, they said that him and Tajay Spears were going to be 50-50. That didn't happen in week 1. Tony Pollard had 16 carries. Tajay Spears had 4. 4-1 on carries. That's a big number. I don't think that's going to change in week 2. The Jets gave up almost 200 yards rushing to the Niners in week 1. His over-under slated at 50.5 rushing yards. Give me that all day. Tony Pollard over 50.5 rushing yards against the Jets. I think that's an easy one. As long as I think it's not going to be a game where it's going to get out of hand. The Jets offense doesn't look great. I think it's going to be a running football game for both teams. I think the Jets are going to lean on Breece Hall a lot this year because whether they want to admit it or not, Aaron Rodgers is a step or 2 less than he was in his prime. Old. He is. He's old. He's a year or 2 older than us, but he's old, Yeah. So give me Tony Pollard over 50.5 rushing yards on my first one. The next one, we're going to the game, the Lions and the Bucs. Rachaad White, another running back. In 5 of the last 6 games, he's had 4 or more catches, including 1 game dating back to last year against the Lions. His over-under set at 3.5 receptions. He averages about 5 targets a game, averages 4 catches a game over his career. Give me Rachaad White over 3.5 receptions against the Lions.
Wow, it's a sneaky one.
Yeah, it's not. It's one that I was looking at last week even, and he hit it, and I didn't play it, so I'm not
really digging deep in the playbook here.
I absolutely love player props even more than betting spreads lately because I feel like it's something that you can just hone in on, and they're not easier because nothing about betting is easy, but I do like that. So those are my first 2 props, and then I'm gonna another one I like. We talked about it in the pick'em. I said they're my Super Bowl pick, something I can't let them go 0-2. Give me the Rams. They're on the money line. They're actually even money on the money line at Arizona. Arizona isn't exactly Yeah, Arizona's not actually a great home field advantage. They did play pretty well against Buffalo last week. Marvin Harrison's got to get going for them, though. And Kyler Murray's already said it's not his job to get him the ball, which is not a great start
Yeah.
to say. No matter, he's never been
They
great
love to
with
hear
words,
that.
but I mean, geez, if you're your number one receiver you just drafted, what is it, fifth overall or fourth overall, I believe, fourth, yeah. I mean, and your quarterback's already saying it's not his job to get you the ball. That's going to cause some tension. I mean, it's going to. Like,
Yeah,
if
no
it's not
doubt.
your job, Kyler, then whose is it? You're the one.
Exactly. Yeah, you
Oh,
want the backup quarterback to
I
come
mean,
in
give
and
me a
do that?
break. And then Cooper Kupp on the other side looks just like Cooper Kupp of old. 14 catches for a $110. He had 21 targets. He's going to get that again with Puka Nacua being out.
Yep.
So I like the Rams big in that game, on the money line, even money.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay.
And then sticking with, I guess, a homer pick on your side, I picked the Browns against your Cowboys last week. Well, I'm not doing that again. I love the Cowboys -6.5, their home opener, which they
Okay.
tend to struggle in their home opener usually, but it's usually against the Giants and Eli Manning, and they don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah.
So the Saints week 1 to me was the biggest fraudulent week 1 we've ever seen. They played the Panthers at home, who probably couldn't beat Alabama at this point,
I'd agree.
much less Georgia.
Yeah.
So give me the Cowboys -6.5. I think the Saints come back down to earth. Dak just looks to me, I know it's only week 1.
Regular season Dak, baby.
Regular season Dak, and he doesn't have the contract looming over him anymore. He knows he's financially secure now. He knows where he is. He knows he's staying there. He knows what's going on. CeeDee Lamb got paid, and they just look like they're locked in. And I know it's regular season. We talk about it. We're going to probably talk about it every show because you're a Cowboy fan. But so far, man, Dak just looks, I don't know, he just looks different to me. And I think they're going to blow the Saints out -6.5. I love that.
I'll tell you
Let's
what,
just
I certainly hope you're right about that one. I always get a little bit nervous with the spreads. I like I like the pick. What I prefer, I like the even money with the Rams. If I had to pick one of your
Really?
props there, Sab, that's the one I really like.
Yeah.
I think the Rams can win straight up.
That's my favorite one too. If I must say, yeah.
Player ones, I'll leave that to you guys. Let's get a little dicey. I have a couple in here that I'll talk about, but
Yeah.
all right, that's pretty good. I got 4 for you guys this week that I'm just going to run through real quick. Not just NFL, we'll kind of spice it up and move around a little bit, as the year goes on. Number 1, I will give you the NFL ones first. Lamar Jackson, I think he was awesome opening night, had over 100 yards rushing. Going into that game, the over-under on his rushing yards was something like 37. And then he went and he exceeded 100. He killed it. This week, you can get, I don't know the exact over-under, but I know on a lot of the sports books, you can get plus 50 yards, all right, over 50 yards rushing for Lamar, and you can get plus 100. So
Wow.
you're talking, double your money right there if he can eclipse 50 yards rushing. I think he does it. For Lamar, Derrick Henry, it takes him a lot to get going. Like, he's an awesome running back, getting a little bit older. You see lots of times they hand it off behind the line. Takes him a second to get going, and he might get tackled for no gain. I think Lamar likes to spread out the offense a lot more and just use his legs.
Yeah,
they have
his over under at 47.5. So 50 is definitely, I mean, I missed that one. That's low. I might have to throw that in a parlay this weekend for sure.
There you go. Lamar over 50 yards rushing. Next up, I'm going to follow you, Sab, with some of the spreads here, which I'm not a huge fan of. I know you like the Cowboys covering this week, which I'm rooting for, but the smart play is the Chargers are -5 against the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Chargers, decent team. Panthers are just absolute garbage right now.
They're just not. Yeah.
I hate to say it, but I don't care if you give anybody -5 against the Panthers, I'll probably take it. I think the Chargers can easily cover -5 against the Panthers. Switching gears, let's look at college football. I know that today's Saturday when we like to air this. FSU, off to a real shaky start. All the news about them, playing with water guns at practice and doing all this nonsense. It's stupid.
So FSU.
It's so FSU. But, and I don't like them. I'm more of a Miami fan, guys. So with that said, they are FSU. Right today, they are a -6.5 favorite. I think that they can have a rebound game today. I think they can cover that 6.5 point spread. So I'm looking at FSU for a rebound game today. Again, -6.5. I'll take it.
It's a good one.
And then last but not least, we're looking at baseball. I'm going to give you a little home cooking here with my Mets. They're rolling. Last night, they opened up their series against the Phillies. They won 11-3 against their ace. The bats are really coming alive. Today, they got Luis Severino on the hill. When he's on, he is on.
True that.
So the Mets Phillies today are pretty much a toss-up, depending on the book that you look at. Pretty much a wash. So I'm going to take the Mets money line against the Phillies today, pulling for Severino to really get going. And those are my picks of the week.
I like it. And going back to that Chargers game, I always say the Chargers are going to charger. I've been saying that for years, that games they should win, they're not going to. But they got a new guy at the helm, Mr. Harbaugh, and
that's right.
I hate to say it, as being a Bronco fan and in their division, they kind of scare me just a little bit because they might be changing the tide over there. And at that game, Chargers-Panthers, there might be more people at your local gas station than at that game on Sunday. Because, I mean, as we know, Charger fans don't actually come out for their team at home, and neither do the Panthers. They're certainly not going to travel. So that should be interesting to see how many people are there.
Maybe we can find what the over-under is on attendance at that game.
I think it's going to be pretty low, and I would take the under no matter what it is. It's bad. That's going to be real bad.
There you go, guys. We got all sorts of picks here, ones that you never even thought of.
Exactly.
But that's our thoughts on the week here, week 2 of the NFL season. Any closing thoughts from you, Sab? Anything we didn't hit on?
I just, nothing I don't think we didn't hit on. I know that I wanted to throw another homer pick in for being week 2, but I declined it. I do think the Broncos win, but I'm not going to put it out there for people to try and follow, because week 1 was tough. Bo Nix is not, it wasn't the start we wanted, but I think he bounces back a little bit. Hopefully doesn't throw into triple coverage 3 or 4 times this week. So that's about it, man. I think we covered it, and I'm just ready for the games, ready for it. Weekend's here. And I know I don't know if you'll be able to watch the games this weekend, though. You're going on a little cruise.
Yeah, taking a little vacay. We'll be sailing around, but I'll definitely be tuning in, and we got
he had to make his cameo.
He got a visitor here on the show. Is that Tino?
This is Tino, SN5 in the building. Had to make his first appearance.
What's up, man?
On
Let's see if he can make a pick.
Say hi. Yeah, he has no clue what's going on. He sees another face.
That's awesome. All right, everybody. We're going to wrap it up here. Thank you again for tuning in to week 2 of Bet on Us. Wherever you're subscribing, wherever you're watching or listening, be sure that you subscribe. Leave us a review. Go tell a friend. Yep. If you want to communicate with us, you can do it wherever you're subscribing or on social media, whether it's Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Bet on us everywhere that you watch. Definitely let us know what your picks are. Let us know what your thoughts are. We can address it, on our next episode. So keep on clicking subscribe. Keep on leaving us a good review, and we will see you next time. I'm BK. He's Sab. Take care.
Good luck, guys.